Welcome to the discussion, everyone. We're diving into a whirlwind of news from the Munich Security Conference, talking Rubio's speech, transatlantic tension, and even some high-stakes geopolitical drama.
I'm excited to jump in. What caught your attention first?
Well, Rubio's address was quite the pivot from last year's tone. He emphasized that the U.S. and Europe, belong together. Yet he also made it clear that allies need to bolster their own
Right.
defenses. It's a nuanced message, really.
Yeah, that blend between reassurance and a subtle challenge really struck me. Reminds you that while the U.S. is on board with the alliance, they're not going to shoulder all the burden.
Exactly. And then there's the whole bit about the Navalny poisoning story. European leaders laid it out pretty bluntly, accusing Russia, mentioning a toxin from poisoned dart frogs of all things. It
Yeah,
adds
that's
a
wild,
serious, dark undertone to the conference vibe.
for sure. And alongside that, you had Zelensky emphasizing that not a single Ukrainian power plant was spared by Russian attacks. It really put the spotlight on the real-world consequences of this conflict.
Yep, and Zelensky's remark that Putin cannot live without war really drives home the point that the conflict isn't just a passing phase, it's a systemic issue.
Definitely. I also noticed how leaders like British Prime Minister Starmer and EU figures are calling for a more unified European defense strategy, almost a new economic and military alignment.
Absolutely. It's like Europe is being urged to finally, wake up as a sleeping giant. And Starmer's call for closer ties with the single market is just another layer to that.
However, I've got a small critique here. While Rubio calls on Europe to defend itself, some argue his message came off as a bit condescending, suggesting a kind of "if you don't do it my way" vibe. It's an
Right,
undercurrent that some, like Pelosi, pointed out despite the applause.
exactly. That tension is palpable. And then there are the military aspects sported alongside the politics. The Trump administration's caution on arms support like Tomahawk missiles for Ukraine shows a delicate balance between power projection and preventing escalation.
True. And don't forget the strategic U.S. strikes on ISIS targets in Syria, a reminder that the U.S. military operations continue in parallel with these high-level diplomatic maneuvers.
Yes, it's all interlinked. The diplomatic reassurance with the hard-hitting, sometimes aggressive military actions. And sometimes it feels like there's this constant tug of war between old alliances and the emerging need for independent European action.
It really is, almost like a balancing act on a razor's edge where any misstep could tilt the geopolitical scales.
Totally. And amid all the speeches and policy proposals, these moments of candid admissions, like acknowledging that Europe must take more responsibility, add a human layer to these statecraft challenges.
Right, exactly. So yeah, from Rubio's mixed signals to Zelensky's urgent appeals for support, it's a rich tapestry of messages at the conference.
Indeed. It's like the conference was a stage where the old world order is being questioned, and a new one is slowly taking shape.
Absolutely. And that's what makes it so intriguing, seeing history in the making, with every line of speech carrying weight.